Hey, did you know that to be in the top 1% of income earners in the country or even in the world, you're going to have to make about $450,000 per year. That's right, just $450,000. Now, if you're not making that, that might seem like a whole lot of money, but I'm sure before you watch this video, you probably thought that you're probably going to need to make a couple $1,000,000 in order to get to the top 1%. This number is so doable, and this is coming from somebody who I've done it, and I've helped other people do it as well, and I've seen many people who are able to do it. All different backgrounds, right? So it's definitely something that is doable. Now, how do you actually get to that level? The first thing that you have to understand is you have to be in the proper vehicle to do so. Not every single vehicle that's out there is going to get you to the top 1%. Now, it's 1% for a reason, right? That being said, how do you pick the proper vehicle? You have to understand the bigger of a problem that you solve, the more money that you can actually make moving forward. If you're solving a small problem that everybody else can solve, it's supply and demand. It comes out to that simple. If all you can do is clean, that's perfectly okay. If that's what you love to do, you can make a good amount of money doing it, but you're not going to be cleaning yourself. You're going to build and scale out a business that can do that for you. But if you want to stay hands-on in a business, or maybe you want to stay really small and that's what enjoys your passion, and you're making good money with it, that's perfectly okay. You might not be the top 1% income earner, but that's not the goal for everybody, right? But if you're watching this video, you're probably looking to get to the next level of income for you. So maybe the main thing that you have to do is, number one, invest in yourself. The only thing that's stopping you from where you are to where you want to go is most of the time two things: your mindset and the skill set that you currently do have. So if you want to increase that, all you got to do is increase your mindset, increase your skill set. That's going to make you more valuable, and that's going to help you increase more work and more value and more money in the marketplace itself. And that's one of the businesses that we do have. We have a truck driving school, and that's one thing that we love doing all the time. Did you know that some truck drivers can actually get into that top 1 percentile, which is a pretty amazing thing? Now, of course, they can't do it driving one truck. They're going to have to learn the business skill set. So if we just keep these things simple, at Driving Academy, which is one of the businesses that we have, is going to be, we actually help people get themselves a CDL license. Once they have a CDL license, now they go from making $20,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 a year to now they have the skill set that requires them to make $60,000 to $70,000 a year right out of school. So what did that individual do? He invested in himself. He got a different skill set. We changed his mindset around a little bit, and now he's making more money right off the bat. Now, once he stays working for a company for a year to 2 years without any experience, without any real experience, and as long as he has no accidents, it's very easy to get anywhere from 80 to 100K working under a company itself. All right, but at that point, you're gonna max out at that ceiling because that's all that the company can afford, simply because that's the value that you're bringing into the marketplace. It doesn't make him a good person or a bad person. It's just what the value looks like, right? Now, the next step from there is, if they still want to get to the next level, now they have to take more risk and actually purchase their own truck and become an owner-operator. Now, this time they have to actually be a great driver to make sure they're safe, to make sure that the products are getting from point A to point B, but they also have to start learning new skills at that point. So if they want to increase their skill level and increase their income, that means they have to learn how to run a business. So now at that point, now they're going from just driving themselves to now running a small business where they're the sole owner of that business, and they have one truck themselves, and then they can get to about anywhere from $100,000 to about $200,000 just by themselves if they want to work their butt off. Now, if they want to get to the top 1%, it's going to be pretty hard doing it fully by yourself, at least in that vehicle. The next step for that is, now it's the time to hire employees. So that means you're going to need to put at least, to keep it super conservative, about 4 trucks on the road, 5 trucks if you want to be super, super conservative. And now you can start making real money out there. But in order for that to happen, you have to increase your skill set again. What are the skills that you're going to need at that level? You're going to need things like, okay, how do I lead my team? How do I hire? How do I fire? How do I set processes in place? How do I make sure that the business runs correctly? How do I handle bookkeeping? How do I handle payroll? How do I handle taxes at the end? How do I handle sales and dealing and negotiating with brokers, right? So when you really think about it, every time the income level goes up, this individual had to learn new skill set and had to change his mindset in order to do that. So if being in the top 1% is truly your goal, what is stopping you from where you are to where you got to go? And the other thing about this story that you really have to understand is that no one jumped from here all the way up to here, right? It's a ladder in most cases. Why? Because there's a lot of learning in between. Now, if there was a skill set where you can just skip a bunch of rungs and jump onto the next part of the ladder to get to your goal right away, that either means one of two things. You have to change your vehicle dramatically, and or you have to learn a whole lot in a short amount of time, right? One of the things that you're going to know that if you are learning is going to be that your problems start changing. So one of the ways to really understand is, hey, if your problems are the same they are this year as they were last year, then pretty much you have not excelled and you haven't learned too many different items to get yourself to the next level. But if your problems are different this year as they were last year and the problems are bigger, that means that you're moving in the proper direction. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the more you work, the higher you get on that ladder, the different the problems get, and sometimes the bigger the problems, but you become a better and bigger person in order to solve them. So I hope this kind of helped you out on how to become part of that 1%. And really it comes down to one of those two things. Make sure that you're worth it, make sure the mindset is there, and you have to put the work ethic behind it to make sure that you're adding the skill set to yourself, but it's not just learning on YouTube, it's actually applying those skills to actually make a difference in the world. And if a truck driver can do it, very simple. We help people every day get to that level if that's what they choose to. I believe you can do it as well. So if you have any other questions, make sure you comment below, and we'd love to shoot a video on anything that you have questions about. Thanks. Have a great day.